The lesson outcome for this video is, I can factor quadratic expressions when a equals 1, and this is just a continuation of the previous lesson, but there is something new in our third example today. So the first example you see, x squared plus 13x plus 12. We remember that we factor this by looking at, first of all, noticing that a equals 1, because that's a 1 in front of the x squared, the coefficient of x squared. And then we know that b in this case is 13 and it's positive, and c is 12 and it's also positive. So we start by taking our c value and listing all the factors. 1 times 12 gives you 12, 2 times 6 gives you 12, and 3 times 4 gives you 12. Now we're going to look at our b value. Let's maybe turn this b into a purple b here. So we're going to look at our b value now, and we are going to find out which of these equals our b value of 13 when we add the factor pairs. So remember, that means 1 plus 12. We'll write our answer here. 1 plus 12 is 13, and that is actually the number we're looking for. Now I'm just going to run through the other ones quick. So 2 plus 6 would give us 8. And 3 plus 4 would give us 7. So we'd also have 8 here and 7. Well, we're not looking for 8 or 7. We are looking for 13. So here's the factors we need to use. And we write our answer by putting down 2 sets of parentheses, because we're going to have 2 binomials multiplied together to give us this trinomial. So x times x gives us that leading 1x squared. And then we need to know what times what will help us get this 12 here, that again, when they add up, they give us the 13. And we know that that's the plus 1 and the plus 12. Again, we have factored this quadratic. Let's try one more before we look at the new piece of this. And the one we're going to try next will be, let's say, x squared minus 8x plus 15. All right, again, we're going to start with our c value. Our c value is 15, and we'll write all the factors of 15. 1 times 15. 15 is not divisible by 2, but it is divisible by 3, so 3 times 5, and there are no other factors of 15. Again, we are now looking for this b value right here, so our b value of negative 8. So which of these, when we add them together, gives us negative 8 for our b value? Well, 1 plus 15 is 16, and 3 plus 5 is 8. Now, neither of those gives us a negative 8 like we need. We need a negative 8. Well, remember, we can change both of the signs of 3 and 5, and we still get 2 factors that multiply together to give me 15. Negative 3 times negative 5. A negative times a negative is positive, and 3 times 5 is 15. If we change both of those to negative, we now have negative 3 plus negative 5, and that is indeed negative 8. And that's what we need for our b value. So now we know these are the 2 numbers we need in our factors. So we put our 2 binomial parentheses down. X times x will give us that 1x squared, and a minus 3 and minus 5 will get us what we need for our factors. Okay, so now this example does something a little different. It is very similar, the same process is going to be used, but we have to be careful about something, and I'll show you as we go. So first of all, let's start by saying this is our c value we need. It's negative 12, so I'm going to write that c value of negative 12 right here. And this time, when we list our factors of negative 12, you're going to realize we need to have one negative value, because a negative times a positive will give us a negative for 12. So if we said, well, 12 is 1 times 12, that's true, but we need one of those 2 values to be negative to get negative 12. So it could be negative 1, or it could be 1 times negative 12, right? Usually what I do is I just list, instead of listing both of these, I usually, let's see here, there we go. I usually don't list both of where the negative 1 times 12 or the 1 times negative 12, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in just a second. So let's go to our next set of factors. Again, I can divide 12 by 2. 2 times what? Well, 2 times 6. But again, one of them has to be negative. I'm just going to start by putting the negative in the front. Now, 3 times 4, right? 3 times 4 is 12, but one of them needs to be negative. So I'll just put the negative here for now. Now what we can do is, again, we're going to look now for our C value. I'm sorry, our B value, my bad. Our B value, and we need that B value to be positive 4. Again, we're going to add. So this is where some of you are going to struggle more because of the positive and negative integers. Remember that negative 1 plus 12 is 11. Okay. What is negative 2 plus 6? Well, it's 4. And what's negative 3 plus 4? It is 1. Again, if you're not super strong with those addition facts with a negative integer in there, make sure you practice. You can check on your calculator to make sure you're doing your calculations correctly. All right, so which of these is what we need? Well, we found it right here. We needed 4, and sure enough, we have 4. So since we found our B values to match there, we know these are the factors we need. I'm going to go ahead and write my parentheses down. X times x, again, x times x will give me this x squared here. And then we need the factors of negative 2 and positive 6. Again, if we check this by using FOIL or the array, we will see that we arrive back at our original problem. Let me write x minus 2 there and x plus 6 here, and do my multiplication quickly to check. X times x is x squared. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. X times 6 is 6x. And negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. We'll get x squared plus 6x minus 2x minus 12. When we combine our like terms, we do indeed get x squared plus 4x minus 12. And this matches our original expression. Okay, I'm going to erase my work right there, and I'm going to try another problem here with you. All right, let's try x squared minus 6x minus 27. Okay, so same process. C is negative 27. We're going to write that right here, and we're going to find our factors. So again, 1 times 27, but one of them has to be negative. Or it doesn't divide by 2. 3 times 9 is 27, and again, one of them has to be negative. And that is all our factors of negative 27. We're now going to look at our B value. Oops. Now we're going to look at our B value, and B is negative 6. And we're going to do our adding. So negative 1 plus 27 is 26. And negative 3 plus 9 is 6. Notice, we do not have negative 6 right now. 26 is not the right answer. 6 is close, but we need it to be negative. What can I do over here to make this negative 6 to match the B? I can change this to the positive 3 and this to the negative 9. That way, when we add positive 3 with negative 9, we will get negative 6, which is what we need to match B. We have now found our two factors that when multiplied gives us negative 27, and when they're added gives us negative 6. And that is what we need over here. So x times x gives us x squared, and we're going to put a plus 3 and a minus 9 for our factors. Again, we got those from right here, put them in. If we were to FOIL or use the array method on this, we would once again arrive back at our original expression. And go ahead and try that if you want to check to make sure that makes sense to you. Okay, I would like you to try these three expressions, factor them in your notes, and I will be checking them in class. Thanks.